Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another video, and today I'm relaunching a show I used to do on 100% Chelsea if you watched me way back then a few years ago, called Let's Talk Chelsea. Basically in this show I take a bunch of news stories from the week relating to Chelsea and discuss them with you guys. So let's get into it. The first story is really, I think, the most major one of the week, which is the news that's been expected but has finally sort of been confirmed and looks like it's about to happen and be announced by the club. Mateo Kovacic signing permanently for Chelsea from Real Madrid. The deal looks to be around 40 million from Real Madrid, and Chelsea just beat out the transfer ban by about 72 hours, it looks like, reported from Matt Law from The Telegraph. And the deal's going to be done. Apparently even Frank Lampard has had say over this, but I would stress and say how true that is. I'm not entirely sure, because there's still reports about Lampard, which we'll come to. But on Kovacic, the deal being made permanent, he's a player that has divided fan opinion. When he came in from Real Madrid on loan, he had a really bright start to the season, like Chelsea did. And like Chelsea, he sort of faded in the winter months and lost his place eventually to Loftus-Cheek, but then regained it for the Europa League final because of Loftus-Cheek's injury. I actually thought he had a really good final against Arsenal. I think the problem with Kovacic is, like a lot of people when watching him, he's a clearly talented player with the ball at his feet. He's competent, he's skilled, he can dribble. As he proved at the start of the season, it's that final bit in the attacking third, it's that clinical nature, it's scoring a goal, it's creating an assist for another player. And it's just that little element of his game that's missing and needs to be improved upon if he's going to be a regular starter at Chelsea. And I think that's what a lot of Chelsea fans are concerned over. But I have to say, considering the transfer ban, considering his age, considering, I think, talent that is there, and the fact that he performed the way he did in the final, I think is encouraging. I do think this is a good signing, and I'd be intrigued to see under a new manager like Lampard how he will fit into the system, because he's probably going to have to be a starter considering Loftus-Cheek's injury. So I think it's a good move, but let me know your opinions on it in the comments below. The next move is one that shocked a lot of Chelsea fans, which was Silva being announced to be leaving the club permanently to move to Bristol City, the club where he played on loan at last season in the Championship. He's won multiple titles for Chelsea in the youth ranks, UEFA Youth League and Youth Cup. And it's disappointing, I have to say, and it's a bit of a shock. Silva was one of those players, has been talked about for many years, as a bright up-and-comer that could eventually break into the first team. And considering left-back wise, we've got Emerson and Marcos Alonso. Alonso's been linked away to Atletico Madrid. And thinking about the transfer ban and who we're going to get in that place, because it is felt that, you know, we need to stock up in that area. Silva could have been a player who could have developed into that. And I did find it baffling that we would allow him to go permanently to Bristol City, and he's only 21. You think of that age and compare it to the ages of our current left backs, I just find it a baffling move in my opinion, and I think he's going to go on to have an amazing career actually. Whether that is maybe not top 6 level, we're not sure. Of course, potential at an early age isn't always a determining factor of where you're going to get later on in your career, but Silva, quick, talented, skillful. He's won over Bristol City fans for his performances there, and for a lot of Chelsea fans, they're excited to see him come back. But it's another case of a promising youngster not being able to break through that glass ceiling into the Chelsea first team squad. But for Silva, I wish him all the best at Bristol City, and I really do hope he has an amazing career. But I have to say it may be one that the club may come to regret in the coming years. Let me know your thoughts. The next thing to discuss is more exciting and more uplifting news about pre-season. Pre-season has finally been confirmed by the club in terms of all of the games that are going to be taking place over July and the start of August before our trip to Old Trafford on the opening game in the Premier League season. A few more added games is a return to Ireland to play St Patrick's and Bohemians right at the start of the month, so that's only a couple of weeks away now, and also a tie against Borussia Mönchengladbach, which takes place the week before the season begins, which rounds out 7 games in total for the pre-season, which is pretty stacked compared to previous pre-seasons that we've had. So to run through them for you guys, we start off in Ireland against Bohemians and St Patrick's, then we go over to Japan to face Kawasaki, who are the J-League champions, and then followed by enticing tie against Barcelona. We then have one domestic friendly away to Championship side Reading. Then we face the Austrian champions RB Salzburg before the final preseason game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So it's exciting to finally have the schedule confirmed. And I think it's a really good, varied preseason. People will decipher and debate how important preseason is about, it doesn't really matter who you're playing or the results really don't matter. It's all about getting that fitness up. And of course, all those things are true. But I do think it's important that the preseason is varied in terms of opposition, also just in terms of getting enough game time. I have concern in recent years where at most we're playing maybe 4 games before the start of the season, and I personally don't feel those are enough games. Of course, there are experts and football coaches who work in the game, but I just feel this is a significant amount against, as I say, a varied amount of opposition there that really is going to allow Frank Lampard, when he comes in, to have enough game time before a massive opener at Old Trafford. So I'm excited by what games really do excite you about this pre-season. Let me know. So that is it for this edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. But just before we go, I just do want to touch on, obviously, Frank Lampard. The announcement hasn't happened yet. It was broken earlier in the week that Derby have allowed Chelsea to talk to Frank Lampard over manager's position. As I say, this links into a bit to Kovacic. If the deal hasn't happened yet, could Lampard have had a say over that deal? We don't know how far the deal is along. But what I will say is Chelsea need to get this done pretty quickly. Pre-season training basically starts next Wednesday. I believe is when first team players will start to make a return to Cobham. And then literally a week later, we actually kick off our first preseason game against Bohemians. So we need to get a manager in. This was sort of a similar scenario with Sarri. If you remember, Conte took the first week of preseason before Sarri was officially announced. So hopefully for Chelsea fans, the wait will be over very soon regarding Frank Lampard's return to Stamford Bridge. But we're going to have to wait and see. So all the stuff I've talked about, discuss them and debate them in the comments below. I'll be down there giving my opinions as well. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again.